This is at the stage where I have dry cramped this, which you always have to do before you glue it, because you've got to make sure that all those joints are perfect. This is quite complicated because I've got to keep the whole thing flat, because a slight difference, a slight change in angle from one end will make a huge difference at the other end. So you could be 1 degree out on the bottom and about 10 degrees out on the top. So I've got to make sure that when I glue it up, I've got it flat against that bit of ply, and it's lifting up a little bit here. So I've got to make sure that's flat, and also I've got to make sure that the new wood is proud of the old leg. So I don't want that to, when I take the cramps off, that to be below the surface. It's got to be proud of the surface, so that then I can pare it back. And I've got to have this cramp, this sash cramp here, set so when I actually glue it up and I tighten the cramps, this doesn't actually slip, because what will happen once the glue goes in there, it holds at the moment, but once the glue goes in, tighten the cramps up and the whole thing will just slide. And I've got to keep it, these are my markers here, but got a little bit of pen there and a bit of pen there. So ideally I want to close that up a little bit and get them onto that line when I glue them up. Okay, that's all glued up now. You can see I've literally about 20 seconds ago just put these cramps on, and this glue has already gone rubbery. So it's imperative that you get everything in place, all your cramps measured correctly, so you don't have to unwind them or wind them up to cramp it in position. And you can see here I'm happy with that. That's a good line. There's no big thick glue lines poking out anywhere, and I'm nice and straight. I'm slightly proud with the new wood here, and that will now take about probably 2 days in a centrally heated house, maybe 3, to fully dry, so I can then work on it. I've got my mark here, and the other side is the same, and that's it. Okay, 2 days have passed. This has been in my house drying nicely, and I've just taken all the cramps off, and it looks like it's gone together very nicely. And just to check that this glue now is absolutely rock solid. So now it's a case of cleaning all this new wood back to form the leg. Okay, I've just taken the excess waste off with the bandsaw, and so we're probably about 4mm proud of the wood. Now I've just sharpened my plane up, and actually before I plane this, I'm just going to put some candle wax. It helps the plane glide through. Let's just try and do this with one hand. A little bit more. Now you don't want to be taking too much, just to be patient. And I will now continue to do this with 2 hands. Now I am at the stage of, I've just got to take a little bit more off here. You see this is proud, and also this is proud. So the best tool to use for this, just put this back in the vise, is this is a spoke shave, but this particular spoke shave is convex. You can see that it has got a curve, convex shape on there. Now I've sharpened this one up because I can do this side, but more importantly I can do the other side, which I've got to obviously scoop this way. This way I've got to draw it down. I could do it with a plane here, but it's more accurate to actually and get the feel of this curve and this sweep of this leg going around. Okay, so it's now been shaped and sanded. Like this. And this is the old brake. Place that on top. Long way around. Approximately on top here like this. You can see that because we use the template, that fits in there, or fits on top of there perfectly. Now the key is to now find out, this is obviously the other leg on the chair, so I now want to put this up against this, and just to see that we've got all the right angles going on, and it looks pretty good. The leg will be slightly different anyway, with possibly when it was made and also with movement over the time, but my main thing I'm looking for is that that leg covers the other leg and the angles are identical. Now this is the correct way to splice, and using Scotch glue. There's no screws, there's no nails or fixings, it's just purely the strength of the glue. Now this, in theory, is as strong as the wood itself. If I was to try and smash this leg on my bench, which I'm not going to do, there's a good chance that the leg would actually break somewhere else apart from the joints. So it's a really fantastic glue that's been used for centuries, and it's the correct glue to use for antique restoration. Alright, I'm going to cut some mortises in there and joint it up. I'm just about to mark this mortise into my new piece of wood, and the thing I've got to be really careful here is it actually, when you first look at it, it looks fairly parallel to the sides of the leg, but it's not. This point from here to the edge of the leg there, and from here to there, is different. This is narrower, this is a bit wider here, so I can't cut my mortise parallel straight down here, because the chair leg from the back will end up being too upright, and it's got to end up being more splayed at address. So you can see the angle of that one, that would be upright, that's just tilting back, and that slight difference, it's probably about maybe 2 mm difference, will determine that angle. So that's vitally important. The other one I've marked out, that's absolutely straight. Okay, so now I have cut these mortises out like this, and that one's at the angle, and now the job will be to try and get it in here. I'll just clean these joints up. So that's the next stage. Okay, it's all been glued up now. I did have to take that joint apart, but I couldn't get that in. Sometimes there's a bit of play and you can get it in. Okay, we're pretty much finished with the colouring. Unfortunately, I couldn't video some of this colouring because my battery went flat. But this is the leg now. So if I point out where the join is, it's from here down to there, and then from here up to here, and then at the back you can just see here there's a line coming across here and a line coming across there.
Thank you. Mince pie singular, I should say. Thank you very much for saying. Delicious.
That's it.
We've lots of peptide.